Hey guys, so this is a big update that you need to know about. Findaway Voices is basically dying. It's dead. Well, it's gonna die real soon. Okay, real soon, August 1st. That's the key date that you need to remember. 1st of August 2025. So basically, they're transitioning from Findaway Voices by Spotify. Spotify bought Findaway Voices a few years ago, and this is the announcements. So they are transitioning from Findaway Voices to basically Spotify and INAudio, right? Two different entities. So the next chapter for audiobook distribution. I'm going to get to what I will personally be doing, but basically you need to know 1st of August, everything audiobook distribution for retailers other than Spotify. So everything other than Spotify will go to INAudio, and we'll take a look at INAudio's website shortly. And then anything that is Spotify will remain, so for distribution on Spotify, it will be available on Spotify for authors. So it's going to go from basically Findaway Voices, which is going to transition into Spotify for authors and INAudio, right? Spotify for authors will be Spotify only. INAudio will be for everywhere else, okay? And basically Findaway Voices is gonna die. that's what it is. So what happens, if you want to read the FAQs on, it's still on Findaway Voices blog right now. Findaway Voices will become Voices by INAudio, and everywhere else it will be Spotify or Spotify for authors. Distribution after 1st of August will be published through your audiobooks published through Findaway Voices will continue to be available on Spotify after 1st of August. To manage your catalog or publish new titles, you can use Spotify for authors. So that's for the ones that remain on Spotify, right? Distribution of audiobooks to retailers other than Spotify, you will need to go to Voices by INAudio. So basically you need to use INAudio after that. Now here's the information that you probably need to know, like whether you need new accounts and stuff like that. So INAudio apparently is going to be using the same credentials as your Findaway Voices. So no need to create a new account with INAudio is my understanding of it at this point in time. Spotify for authors, you will need to get yourself a new account essentially. So Findaway Voices users will, with at least one title published to Spotify, can access Spotify for authors beginning 1st May 2025. Now I have not done that. We are mid-June right now. So June 15th I'm recording this. So yeah, this one I will probably have to follow the step-by-step bits when you log into Findaway Voices account. Now production, all that, it doesn't really change. Most functionality will not change. Features specific to Spotify of your titles will transition to Spotify for authors. So you get like Spotify Insights, reports, redemption codes, stuff like that from June 2nd, 2025. So not much change in functionality. How is my content being managed through this transition? Nothing will change. Okay, apparently nothing will change in regards to where your audiobooks are distributed or how much you can earn. Now, beginning 1st of August, Spotify will manage distribution to Spotify. INAudio will manage distribution to elsewhere, which we've discussed. Now, the terms of use, this is actually quite key. Distribution to Spotify will use existing terms of use via Findaway Voices. Okay, so that's not changing. There won't be interruption distribution elsewhere. INAudio will continue to distribute content everywhere else using the Findaway Voices terms of use. Now, after 1st of August, if you make changes to your titles, you will have to opt in for Spotify for authors. And same with INAudio, basically. And when you opt in, you have to use the updated terms of use, right? So they're saying the Spotify for authors distribution terms will replace Findaway Voices terms of use. I'm assuming it's basically the same thing with INAudio. So 1st of August, you will need to, if you want to remain with Spotify and INAudio, then you will have to accept their new terms of service. And then there's who can I contact over here, contact information. If you look on the bottom left-hand corner, just over here, it says support@findawayvoices.com for Spotify, or Findaway Voices by Spotify right now. And for INAudio, they direct you to their website. So let's have a look at INAudio's website. It seems to be set up okay so far, you know. Nothing kind of puts me off yet, but I will have to do some due diligence. You know, it's obviously a new company, right? And then if you have any questions, contact us. Independent Authors has a tab for its own right here. And this is where, you know, everywhere else distribution comes in. And there's the contact us page. Partner with us if you're I don't even know what this is about, to be honest. I'm guessing you're partnering up with them to distribute your audiobooks, which, you know, it's all good. But currently, yeah, it's Findaway Voices until 1st of August, and then Spotify by Authors from then for Spotify only, and then INAudio for everywhere else. Now, yeah, I mean, that's basically what you need to know. Spotify is, you know, decommissioning Findaway Voices essentially, and it's changing into two companies. I just want to cover briefly what I'm personally doing. Now, I sell like hundreds of audiobooks every, you know, most years. So the majority of my sales comes through Findaway Voices, Spotify, right? The majority of my sales come through Spotify. So because of that, I will be staying with Spotify for that, you know. It's always best to, like, if you make a lot of sales on Amazon, it's probably best to stay with KDP, for example. If you make lots of sales from Apple, you may want to go directly with Apple, for example. So my audiobook sales, the vast majority comes from Spotify. The next bit is libraries. So libraries, I get quite a lot of downloads for my audiobooks, and that's gonna have to, I want to stay with the libraries, so I'm gonna have to go with INAudio for that, right? So essentially, I'm kind of I'm kind of breaking my rule a little bit, because I don't want to have like so many platforms that I'm signed up to. I just want to have one or two. So for example, ebooks and paperbacks, I'm only using KDP and Draft to Digital. Now for audiobooks, I've used ACX, which is Amazon's audiobook arm for Audible, and I've used Findaway Voices for everywhere else. But because Spotify, since they've purchased Findaway Voices, and they're now, you know, splitting into Spotify for Authors and INAudio, I need to, you know, reach as many listeners as I can. So in this case, I will be transitioning to get my audiobooks to Spotify for Authors and INAudio. So I'm going to have to add those two. Now, it's really important to, you know, talk about like new opportunities and stuff like that. And, you know, I suggest you diversify your author income streams. So if you've got an ebook, that's great, but maybe think about paperback, hardcover, and anywhere else, you know. So for more insights on diversifying your author income streams, check out this video on how I built 4 income streams as a self-published author, or explore this video that YouTube recommends for you. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you there.